Can you give us a Brandon update?
What was Brandon able to do today?
I did drill work just like yesterday. I wasn't able to practice. We'll see how he is tomorrow. If he is okay, he'll be able to practice.
Is Barry able to now practice without the club on his hand?
Yeah, he's been able to move his fingers. You can see it's helped him.
You think that's what he'll be able to? Will he be able to do that in the games now?
I believe so.
How do you balance the desire to have an intense – we're talking about tackling the other day, I guess. How do you balance the desire to have an intense practice with the fact that, I mean, there's a game right around the corner and you don't want to do too much?
Well, you're allowed to have pads on once a week, and, this is kind of our day where when we do run the football, it's kind of full go without taking people to the ground. So we get a good chance to get 20 reps of that, and then we have padded practice the rest of the practice, and it went well. You form tackle, you don't take people to the ground, but hopefully you improve.
Fred went from, I think, like 48 plays to 16 plays this past week.
Who did?
Davis. He went from getting the most reps to the third most reps at tight end. How much of that is about Fred and how much is about Jordan Reed just being a good player who's coming on?
Well, at different positions you have a little bit more depth. I think that's one of our strongest positions right now is the tight end position. We've got a lot of guys that can play, and a lot determines on how well you practice during the week and how well you play on game day. And so when guys practice better or guys step up on game day, they get a few more reps. That's what happened with Fred.
As far as Jordan goes, just in and of himself, to be progressing as fast as he is, what do you like about him?
Well, he's done a great job. He's got a unique ability to be able to beat people one-on-one. If a linebacker covers him or a safety covers him, he's got the foot quickness and the ability to move where he's going to get open the majority of the time, which is very hard for tight ends to do. He can move like a wide receiver. And so that's one of the reasons why he played a lot last week in the 2-minute situation where he got a chance to match up on some people.
Kai Forbath, and was he able to do anything today?
He's getting a lot of treatment. He says it's feeling better, but until he actually kicks, we won't know for sure. Probably Friday or Saturday will be the first time we try to kick him and see how he does.
Yeah. Mike, you guys obviously overcame the odds a year ago when you started 3-6. I know stats are dumb, but it says 5% of teams make the NFL playoffs if you go to 0-3. Do you communicate that to these guys this week, how big this is, or do you look at it as trying to get our bearings right?
Well, we didn't go over the stats when we were 3-6 a year ago, so we won't go over any stats relative to 0-2 or whatever it may be. If it's 1-2, whatever. What you got to do is concentrate on the next game. Your next game is the only game, and that's what we're doing right now. To win those type of games, you got to have great practices during the week. You got to have a sense of urgency, and I think we've had that for the last couple of days.
Mike, to get back to Fred, he theorized that missed assignments in the second half was the reason why he didn't play very often. For him, first of all, I guess, is that true? But also, for a veteran to miss assignments in the run game like he says that he did, is that a surprise for you?
Well, if he told you he missed assignments, then obviously he missed some assignments. I wouldn't share that with you. But if he did, it surely doesn't help.
You said Roberts 100%. Everybody says 100%. Do you at all, Kyle, and you get together and not change the play calling, but put in the fact that he is coming back from a pretty invasive knee surgery early on in the season?
Well, I think when you take a look at the game, it was a different type game. When you're behind as many points as we were in both games, you get to a 2-minute attack. And 2-minute attack is different than we ran last season. And if we did get behind again in those type of situations, you'd have the same. You want to get back into the game. So you can't run your normal offensive scheme. We didn't do that last year. When we did a fairly good job of moving the ball in a 2-minute situation, even though we weren't confronted with it very many times. But when you fall behind as many touchdowns as we did, I was fairly pleased with a number of things we did correctly. But what we got to do is correct that first half. We talked about the Philly game, a lot of turnovers last game, third downs. Hopefully this next week we can say, hey, we did some good things in the first half, and then you can see how our offense should operate.
Mike,
Oh, happy birthday.
thank you.
Yeah. 28?
Yeah, I wish. Plus 12. Sue gets all the headlines for right and wrong reasons. Who else worries you and stands out to you on tape on that defense?
Well, anytime you've got that type of pass rush, as many first-rounders as there is in that defensive front, they can put some pressure on you. But as we understand with a defense, it's the coordination of a defense, and they've been doing a very good job. They're right. I think they're ranked 15th. They're doing an excellent job to rank number 1 in third down conversions, an area we have struggled in. So we've got to bring our A game.
Was Cedric able to practice today?
He was sore. Ribs are sore. Abdomen a little bit sore. He did practice, but he was limited.
When did he suffer that injury?
I just asked him today. I thought he did it yesterday. He was a little bit sore, and he said he got it during the game and a little bit more sore than he thought it would be at this time. So he was limited today. He was out there, did practice.
Do you guys, as a staff, laugh at all when you hear us debating whether Robert's not enough of a drop back passer or he needs to be more of a runner, and do you just kind of look at it as this is part of the conversation, or do you take stock of any of that?
Well, I understand the debate. Anytime you're on a running offense in college, people are always going to question, how long is it going to take before you make this progression, your first year, your second year, your third year. People that are just come from a drop-back system, can they run quarterback keeps and do the play-action type game? So no matter what, there's always question marks, the unknown, from first year, second year to third year. I do know regardless of who you are at quarterback, it does take repetition, and it takes time. Nothing's automatic for anybody. I think anytime you do have Robert's ability, like we've seen last year, where you're able to run the play-action pass, zone read, quarterback keeps, drop-back game, he has a great skill set, and that skill set will improve practice by practice, game by game. It's not going to happen overnight. Nothing's going to be perfect. Last year for a rookie, it doesn't get much better than that. Hopefully the games are fairly close where we can run our style of offense that everybody's gotten used to over the last year. Anything else? Okay, guys.